I am joined by Robert Griffin III, James White, Field Yates, Mina Kimes.
All right, so first play we're going to look at 2nd and 2, one of the Patriots' first offensive plays.
Mention leadership and taking responsibility. Jerod Mayo has been under fire for people kind of perceiving that he is not taking accountability, and people thought that he was kind of putting the team under the bus. Now, personally, I haven't really seen it that way. I feel like Jerod just understands intrinsically, yes, it is my responsibility. I'm the head coach. But also, he's still working on his media persona and all that. But, what you say does unfortunately matter in those situations. Is there anything you think he should maybe be doing differently? Like I asked him today on the TV and the broadcast, they show you on the sideline, but they never really show like with Bill, where he would be in the huddle talking about like, do your job, stick to the fundamentals and pointing things out. He mentioned he'll do that sometimes, but also will defer to his coordinators and things like that. So when you're losing, everything is
everything's under the microscope. Yeah, man, that's just kind of what it is. I mean, when you're 1-6, things aren't going right. You can't score on offense. Teams are running over you on defense. People are gonna find any little thing that you're doing is gonna be the wrong thing, and they want you to do the opposite of what you're currently doing. Yeah, he could be a little bit more involved in the huddle. Not like it's gonna be some game changing thing at the end of the day. Like, you just got to put those guys, during the week in the best position to succeed based on the team you're playing. Make the adjustments, on Sunday or Monday, whatever it is. When things aren't going right, try to make some quick adjustments on the sideline to figure things out to get it right. But yeah, I just think everything's under the microscope right now. And that's what happens when you're losing football games. I think Mayo's doing a solid job. I just think it's different. Like, people just aren't used to it. You know what I mean? Like, he's going to be himself. He can't go and be Bill in the media. That's come on, let's just call it that. He's not going to be less talkative and less descriptive. Maybe eventually he'll get to that point. I don't know. He's just kind of trying to be himself, and I think people aren't really open to that right now because we're not winning. So people are like, all right, why are you saying all this? Why are you saying all that? Like, just keep it quiet. We don't want to hear that, like that type of thing. I think we just gotta let things play out. It's just the nature of the game. Like when you're losing in the NFL, you're gonna hear things, all sorts of things of what you need to do, what you shouldn't do. That's just what comes with it.
So actually, last question before the mailbag, because we're talking about coaches under fire, how everyone's always getting questioned. Alex Van Pelt. Now, he's obviously come under a lot of fire himself as well. I think what he's done with Drake May is very admirable. I think that's the biggest reason he was brought in, was to develop Drake May and also obviously tailor the offense around him and things like that. But from your perspective, you played for one of the best offensive minds in the modern era of football. What have you seen from Alex Van Pelt? Do you think he's doing a good job, or the things you'd like to see him do better? Just what's your take on how he's been, coordinating, commanding the offense?
I think he's been doing a pretty solid job. I like early on in the football game last week, getting Drake on the move, some bootlegs, get him outside the pocket, let him stand in there, make some throws. I honestly thought the pass protection was pretty decent, against the Jags compared to previous weeks where, every time there's a drop back, guys are in the quarterback's face. He had quite a few, clean pockets. So I do think he must have addressed that as far as protecting the quarterback. And I think he's just trying to find the right personnel as far as receiver. I mean, obviously Hunter's a solid tight end. He's going to be the feature guy as far as that. Just finding the right receiver groups to get things going right now. Polk's in a little bit of a funk. I'm sure he'll get out of that at some point as far as getting open, catching the football. Boute's been pretty solid. Bourne, he's just trying to get back into things. His first couple weeks back, he'll get it going eventually. But you got to find, Pop Douglas, he was sick or whatever, so he couldn't play a bunch of snaps. But whenever you have a good group of guys, a solid group that you can consistently be out there, I think that helps. And I think if Pop Douglas played that whole game, who's definitely, Drake May's probably favorite target aside from Hunter Henry, I think that probably would have helped with that game some. But I love what I'm seeing from Boute, though. He's making the most of his opportunities, taking the top out the defense, running pretty solid routes. But I do think it's not just the Alex Van Pelt thing. Guys just got to get open. Like, the Jags played a pretty decent amount of man coverage, and I would say there wasn't a ton of separation going on when they did run man coverage. So I don't think it's just about the coaches, which they can be better. But as players, you got to take a little bit more onus too.